Roberto Lorenzo Ferguson, aka Robert Ferguson.
Yeah.
And Barbara and I will be fighting over the mic.
That's mine.
So we're having a moment, but to kick things off, I want to introduce Barbara, my partner in crime, co-host for the Stay Healthy Experience. And we got so many things we're doing.
I know. Got a busy day.
Yeah. Well, busy day and busy life, right?
Yeah.
And then we have Pat, our superstar guest. How you doing, Pat? Let's give her a big hand.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
I asked Barbara to join us in this live because, one, we haven't done, she's trying to take my mic.
I'm kidding.
We haven't done a Stay Healthy Experience. We're gearing up for our new season. And, Barbara's a coach. She's a master coach, actually. And has a lot of clients. And so we both are sharing the methodology of Diet for Your Life, which a lot of people are always intrigued with the fact that it's evidence-based and clinically proven. And all that means is that it's verified, validated, and it's reproducible. Reproducible, meaning any certified coach that's trained on the methodology can actually get the results or help someone get the results that you're getting.
Yes.
And so when you and I talked the other day, I was just, I laughed so hard, Pat, after you shared the story of going to your doctor and all that went down. But before we get into all of that, go ahead and give Barbara and anyone who catches this a glimpse of your journey, like what it's been like for you.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I've been following Robert. I've been following you, Robert, for years. I mean, probably 11, 12 years. And I've had, I've gone from everything. Like I followed the program, lost weight, then got cocky and felt like I could do it and didn't have to be as consistent as I was and gained weight back. So then I tried doing it on my own and wasn't as successful, and finally gave in and realized that I did need help and came back to you, Robert, and took advantage of your program with the women over 40, and me, I'm over 40 and over 50 and closer to 60. And with your help, I've been able to lose over 35 pounds, and I've been able to get off my medicine that I'm on, and I'm feeling better and feeling healthier. And, I still have a way to go. I still probably for myself have maybe another 40, 45, 50 pounds to get to where I want to be. But I know that I can do it. It's not going to be overnight, which I wish it was, but I know that it's going to be something that I can do because you have given me all that I need to know to get to where I want to be.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, anytime I want you to jump in there.
I have a question. I'd love to ask this of you. I'd love to hear your input, but I especially love asking this of my clients. Okay, yes, give me the mic. Would be to ask you, what was it? Because you said you lost weight, you gained it back, or you kind of were yo-yoing, right? What was it for you that really took it home, really hit home that you said, okay, I really need to get serious about this and buckle down and do something, for a lifetime, for a lifestyle? What was it for you?
For me, it was, I'm getting older, but there's a lot of stuff that I still want to do. I want to travel. I want to go to Ireland. I want to go have fun with my kids. Even though they're older now, we want to travel. And I want to be able to go on adventures. I want to be able to go and walk and maybe go to Paris and see the Eiffel Tower and be able to walk there and see it, not have to maybe be in a wheelchair and go there and see it. I want to be able to take part in the adventures. I want to be able to go. I'm going to have my first grandchild in September, and I want to be able to go in years on rides with her at Disney World, where right now, a few months back, I wouldn't be able to fit on the rides. Now I'm at a point where I can. And in a few months, maybe next year, I'll be at a point where I won't have any issues. I won't have to worry about not being able to fit on the rides. So
Right.
that, I just being able to take advantage of what life is, that's what has like woke me up.
Right. So you felt like there's some things you were missing out on, right? Just
Life in general.
yeah.
Like I felt like I was just keeping myself locked in and not really enjoying everything that there is in life. So that's what I needed to make that change. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, got it.
Now, give me back that. So I would love you to kind of share the story about going to meet with your doctor and the setup. If you don't mind, you can, like metformin. Everybody's very familiar with that medication. Right. We've been on the goal, right? Monitoring glucose. We knew what was going to happen, and it happened. So, can you share that story?
Sure. So I was on metformin, and I didn't want to be on it. So I decided I wanted to stop taking it, and I talked to Robert about it, and we had been monitoring it, and we had agreed that I could stop, and we were at a point with my weight and everything that we were comfortable, and with the pandemic, I wasn't able to get in to see my doctor, and we waited until I was 3 months into the program, and then I made the appointment to go in to see my doctor. And first thing in, I told him I was there for my general physical, and he needed to do all my blood work. And I told him that I needed to have my A1C checked, but that I hadn't been taking my metformin. And he was like, "You haven't been taking your metformin?" And I was like, "No, I haven't been taking it. I don't need it. I don't need my metformin. I don't want to be on it. I'm not going to take it." And he's like, "But it's the pandemic. Everybody's gained weight during the pandemic, and you not being on it, I am positive now you're going to be taking insulin now. You have just set yourself up for failure. Like, you're going to be on insulin, and I'm going to have to go out there and talk to my other doctors, and they're going to put you on that. And there's no way I'm going to get around it." I was like, "It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You are not going to put me on insulin, number one. And number two, I'm not going back on metformin. So I don't care what you do. But if you want, take my finger prick right now and check." So, he called his nurse in and said, "Take her finger and check." And so he checked it all out and came back, and he was like, it was like 5.4, 5.5. And he's like, "You don't need metformin anymore. You don't need it." And he's like, "And you've lost weight since the last time you've been here. You're down like 30, 35 pounds. I was like, "That's what I've been telling you. I've been telling you I don't need this. I don't need the metformin anymore. I don't need to be on this medicine. So I'm not going back on." And he had already called in my prescription. He had called it in already.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't care. He was so sure that I was going to have to be on it that he had called in my prescription. I was like, "No." So then he said, "Well, how did you do this? How did you lose all this weight?" So I said, "Oh, Rferguson. That's how I lost all this weight." So, so that was it. Yeah.
Yeah. So had you not, spoken up to your doctor and been your own advocate, he would have just wanted you to continue with the metformin, right?
He would have kept me on it, and that would have been it. Yeah, because he didn't want me to come off of it, and I was like, "No, I'm coming off. I'm coming off. There's no way. Why I should be on a medicine that's not healthy? I mean, that's if there's a chance that I could get cancer from it, that it's not good for me. That no, I don't need it. I don't want to be on it."
So you said that was at 3 months after, or about 3 months working together?
Yeah.
Wow.
Robert's a miracle worker.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that. Give me back the mic.
I know. I swear.
I mean, you know what? The Diet for Life methodology and how we work is only as good as you put in the work.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you've been so consistent. You've gone to bit. You went back east during all of this. So many clients that I'm sure we both work with will come up with all kind of reasons why. Well, I was at my mom's house and she made my favorite deep fried donuts and Twinkies, and
Yes.
and every day we had to eat it. I didn't want to disappoint her, but
Right.
you went. I mean, you took a scale with you. Oh no,
I did.
well, your mom has a scale. Or
No,
did you
I ordered one on Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I ordered one on Amazon.
Yeah.
She was like on point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and part of your story, and just for clarification, you said that with the doctor, after he finally realized that, okay, I got this all wrong. You're doing great. Let me cancel the prescription.
Right.
And then didn't you say he had some weight he wanted to lose?
He did. He wanted to. He was saying that he's been trying to lose weight and he can't seem to find anything to get it off. So I said to him, Rferguson is who I've been following, and he's on. You can find him on Facebook. Reach out to him. He can help you. You can eat what you want. He can show you the way of eating that will help you drop the pounds. You can drop it like it's hot. So yeah.
Well, do me a favor, because a lot of times people, I mean, look, we all know that you can't eat a whole pizza every night and expect to get results. However,
you could have 2 handfuls.
Yeah, we do learn how to be able to indulge and eat foods, even as you're improving your blood glucose, right? So we call it a boost meal when it's on a positive. So share, with those who are listening or watching, like some of your favorite boost meals, things that you have eaten as you've made all this progress.
So I've done, the boost meals that I've liked is I've done, I'll do, like I've had toast with like hash browns. I've done those like with my eggs. I've done those, or I've done potatoes with corn. I've done that, but those are. I mean, I have a hard time doing boost meals, but those are the ones that I'll do. I'll do my vegetable with potatoes, like a mashed potato or a baked potato. So yeah.
Okay, so now with you and your son, you guys never go like is there an In-N-Out burger in Phoenix?
There's in Yuma, there's an In-N-Out burger.
So you haven't had In-N-Out?
Yeah, no, we do In-N-Out. We do.
You're like, he was trying to pull that, yeah.
No, but we do. But okay, so we have done that where we go and we'll get a hamburger and the French fries, or I do Chick-fil-A. That's my favorite, Chick-fil-A. So I've done that as well, where I'll do a Chick-fil-A one of their sandwiches, and I'll do a small waffle fry. So that will be one of my boost meals.
Nice. So, okay, now what about in working with, let's say, a coach, and specifically with Robert, what would you say about the accountability, like how that's made a difference for you too? Because I know when I speak to my clients, that's probably one of the top things that they love about, working with a coach. But what would you say, I don't know, what would you say about the accountability part and how that's helped you?
I think it's really important. I think knowing that every week or every other week when I talk to Robert, knowing that I'm going to talk to him, and if I have any questions, he's there to answer them for me. Or if I'm not feeling motivated, he's there to boost me up. Like when I came back from my mom's house, because I was going from her scale to my scale, there was a difference in my weights. And because I was flying. So he made a suggestion for me on water, on how to maybe help with that. So I wouldn't have known that on my own. But knowing that I was talking to Robert like right after I came back home, it was something that made it easy because I was able to talk to him and he was able to then motivate me and say, don't worry about it. It was one scale. Now you're on your scale. Then we're just going to take that and we're going to go with it. So now you're using this weight, and that's going to be your weight going forward. And, you know, here are my suggestions. This is what I would suggest, and we'll see how it goes. And it worked. I mean, like his suggestions, the very next week, I think I dropped like 2 pounds, 2 or 3 pounds. It was, and I was right back on it. Yeah. So it really helps. I think if I were doing it on my own, I might have been discouraged. But knowing that I had Robert there to help me, it really was able to pick me up. Yeah.
You know, girl, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I've heard so many times across the board where when people don't have, let's say, whether it's a coach or some kind of support system, you know, to talk through those things, because weight loss, fat loss, all that, it's not a straight line, right? There's like these little ups and downs.
That's right.
And
yeah.
and then when you hit those, let's say, the not so, you know, positive times, or maybe when you're struggling a little bit, that you, exactly like you said, you get discouraged. And when you don't have that support system in place, or someone to talk to, a mentor, a coach, that you're more likely to just say, oh, screw it, right? Just forget it. This isn't for me. I can't do it, or whatever. You start getting in your own head. I think we like to talk about that. It's like you get in your own way. And so I'm so glad you brought that up, because I'm sure, hands down, there's so many people who can relate to that. So thank you for sharing that.
No, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Now, so, and I don't mind sharing this tip. Like, so whenever someone's traveling, and when I would work with professional boxers, a big part of their success is first being able to make the weight. And once they make the weight, they have to weigh in, right, at a certain weight. Then the next day they fight and make all the money. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes you're running behind, and the weather's changing, and it's heat and it's humid, and you're on a plane for 5 hours going from West Coast to East Coast, or East Coast to West Coast. What I would have them do is drink distilled water for about 3 days once we land, so they wouldn't be holding water. Mm-hmm. And that's what Pat did.
Nice.
So I just wanted to share that, so the people out there going, oh, okay, that makes sense.
No, did you know? Did you know? I actually, back to that, and get the mic back. But that advice that you gave for flying, actually, when I remember years ago when I flew out for my nationals competition, bodybuilding, I did the same thing too, because I had to fly to Pittsburgh, and I flew out early. You like Pittsburgh? Yeah, and so I flew out early and had to do all that because of the fact that, you know, you can retain water, and it can impact, you know, what you look like, right? Especially in bodybuilding, what you look like. So it's great sound advice from your coach here.
That's right.
Nice.
Yes.
Give the mic to the real MC. The real MC. Okay, so is there any, you know, so my goal was that, one, I thought the story about the doctor is funny. But the real take home that I wanted to bring about as we all had this conversation, which we're almost done, is people must become their own health advocate. You know, Barbara mentioned it earlier. People must take responsibility for it. It's like one of my dear friends who used to be our national medical director, Dr. Bernadette Anderson. She lost 165 pounds doing what you're doing. And her big thing, I remember she's a priestess 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. I want people to know how to have a conversation with their doctor. I want people to be empowered to be able to go in and ask the right questions. Because if you don't, like, you went in and you were tough. You put your heels down. You were like, no. And he wasn't hearing. So think of someone who wasn't as confident as you, and they go see their doctor, and the doctor is real quick to say, no, this is what you're going to do. And they're trained to do what he or she says.
Absolutely.
Right.
So what's your thoughts on that? And the goal is, I would love you to share something, and Barbara, I'd like you to weigh on this also, that will encourage people to take control of their health and not just live a life of being dictated by some physician. And I'm sure they mean well, but if you just did what he told you, you'd be back on metformin or looking at injecting insulin.
Right. Well, first of all, for me, I'm probably the most passive person out there. So I am not one to be confrontational. So for me to like say, no, I'm not going to do it, that's totally out of character for me. I mean, I am not that type of person. So um, that was out of my normal genre. So for me, I would just say you have to represent yourself. And if you feel that you um, don't need something, you can't let somebody tell you that you have to do it. So, I mean, if you've done your research, and you know that this is something that is not good for me or that I don't want going into my body, then you need to stand up for yourself. If it's something that is going to be beneficial for you, then that's a different story. But if it's something that is not good for you and you don't feel that what it's going to do to your body is going to be good, then say no. Say no. I mean, nobody's going to force you to take it. You're taking it yourself. You're putting it into your own body. So you can stop it as well from going into your body.
Nice.
That's how I go.
Right.
That's great. Okay. Let me grab this right here. So, really good question. I really like that. And I'm going to share a quote from one of my own clients that I thought was very inspirational. She's 40 plus pounds down. I've been working with her for quite some time now. It's been about 6 months, but she's been doing great. And I asked her the same question that I asked you about, really picking her brain and wondering, what it was that this time around got her to stick to it. And she said this, she said, this time around, it was more about, I'm going to make this work versus let's see if this works. Like kind of, you're just sort of taking a trial error or trial sample of all these different things. This time she knew she had done her due diligence. Like you said, she knew this was healthy and healthful for her. And she knew that it wasn't going to be easy. And she thought, I'm going to make this work. That being said, is I think that when you do that, it builds confidence. And I think to feel like you have to stand up for yourself and be your own advocate, especially with a doctor, it takes some confidence, right? You need to know what you're talking about. And one of the things I really push with my clients, and this client also, is that every day that you're doing this, whether you have your best day or maybe not so good day, you're getting practice. And with that practice, and with consistency, you're getting these results, and that builds confidence that, hey, what I'm doing, it's working for me. This works for me. And the more confidence you have in that and that experience that you can have, like just more and more under your belt, you're more likely to do what you did in the doctor's office and say, hey, you know what? No, this is what works for me. I'm telling you, this is what works for me because I know, I've been doing A, B, C, and D. It's not guesswork. You're not just saying, you're not winging it at this point. You're basically saying, hey, no, I'm making this work and this is why. So that's my input on that.
Nice. All right. Any last words you want to share there, Pat?
No, I'm just I'm like really happy that you invited me on, and I appreciate everything that you've done for me so far, and I know that I'm going to be successful with your help and everything that you've taught me.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
So I appreciate everything.
And I would, my last words would be, because we had many talks about this, and for everybody to do this, if you're losing weight or eating healthier, or you're monitoring your fasting glucose and all the other things that you're keeping an eye on, let's say 3 months, 4 months, 5 months before you go in and see your doctor, have all of that like in a journal, or have it nearby, or be real clear on it so that you can show them what you've done. And then they will become an advocate.
For sure.
Right? You can't argue. Like if you've been off of metformin for 3 months and you're showing, you can show what your fasting glucose is and everything is so much better. Why would you put me back on it? It's been 3 months. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, really? That's crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I just want to say thank you, Pat, for sharing your story. Our goal is, this is not about just getting a new client. This is about helping people know that, helping people become and continue to be hopeful. things can improve and you can get off of these medications. And it's good to hear someone like yourself share that as part of your journey, you are off of those medications.
Thank
So,
you.
Yes.
Thank you. So now you can go eat. Sorry we kept you in here this long.
That's okay. That's all right. Thank you.
Because you're off work, right?
I am. I'm done with work. Yeah.
Okay.
Yay.
Well, we are too.
I know.
All right. Well, thank you, Pat. Thank you, Barbara.
All right. Thank you.
It was so nice meeting you.